Welcome to Reviewing the Ring. WWE will put it out there. I will review and get it back to you. Today, I'm looking at Raw. Starting off Raw, we get Roman Reigns against Jason Jordan, who Jordan last week took Cena to the limit, I guess, before losing. And then this week, he gets in plenty of offense against Roman Reigns, but yet he still loses yet again. So, weird spot they have Jason Jordan in. He's sort of being this little game piece in between Cena and Reigns. They're comparing each other as to how long it takes to beat Jason Jordan. Weird spot they have Jordan in, but it is what it is, and it got us to the best part of Raw, you could argue, when Cena came out after the match. The Toyota Stelling John Cena comes down to the ring, grabs that mic, and oh my, do we get probably one of the best promos I have seen on Raw in years. Now, a couple weeks ago, they blew down the proverbial fourth wall, whatever you want to call it, basically calling each other out. They're bad workers, the crowd hates them, they're booked improperly, they get pushes for no reason. But my God, John Cena, before leaving the ring, ends his promo by mentioning that Cena isn't going anywhere, just like Roman's wellness policy violation. Boom, mic drop. Got popped for drugs last year or the year before, I believe, and they just announced it live on Raw that the big dog himself likes his chemistry set a little bit too much. Next up, we have Sasha Banks going up against Emma, in which a match the crowd didn't care. As a viewer at home watching it, I didn't care, which is crazy to say because Sasha Banks is in the ring, but they really have given us no reason to care about this match. Sasha ends up with the win. Alexa and Nia are on the commentary during the entire match, setting up towards the Fatal 4. Okay. All right, after the absolutely glorious, pun definitely intended, Cena and Roman Reigns promo where Cena just eviscerated Empire yet again, we get some massive news that Kurt Angle has signed a free agent, and that free agent will be Asuka. And Asuka will be coming soon, according to the promo last night. She is out with a legit collarbone injury right now, so she won't be in ring until October at the earliest. But this gives WWE and Raw a chance to build up Asuka, talk about the streak, talk about how great she really is. So that way, when she hits the main roster, she will hit the ground running, and it couldn't come at a better time. Give us Asuka, Sasha, give us Asuka, Alexa, whoever. The women's division is about to get fantastic on Raw. And eventually, Heyman gets around to hyping the No Mercy main event that is coming. He begins to poke the bear a little bit, and my God, does the bear answer. Strowman marches down to the ring, absolutely gets involved with Lesnar right off the bat. Now, I need to go back and check out the Fatal from SummerSlam, but I believe this is the first trip to Suplex City that Strowman went on, and he no-sells it. Now, normally that's not good, but in this case, the face that Lesnar makes after delivering the German suplex was just perfect. This Braun then goes on to absolutely destroy Brock. It ends up with Strowman holding the Universal title over the beaten and battered body of Brock. Wonderful promo. Absolute unreal way to set up this pay-per-view. I cannot wait for this main event. And if you are not excited for this, you're dead inside. You need to seek help immediately. Thank you. This is going to be a great match. Next up, we have Bray Wyatt going up against Goldust in a match that was over in about 3 seconds. Felt like it at least. And actually, the match worked because at the end, Bray Wyatt is actually taking off Goldust's face paint, screaming, see, he's just a man underneath. And this is all tying into the match coming up with Balor. After the Demon, Bray's calling him out, saying, you know, you don't need this the makeup, war paint, whatever you want to call it. Balor comes out, runs Bray off. Not bad. It did its job, and actually the whole Goldust being in there and wiping off the face paint and things like that, it worked really well. No complaints. Next up, Drifter versus Kalisto. Drifter got the song heat in the beginning. Kalisto interrupts. Elias gets the win. That was that. All right, and we get ourselves a pay-per-view caliber match on Raw. John Cena goes up against the monster among men, Braun Strowman. Now, for the match itself, Cena was there basically to just get destroyed by Strowman the entire match. Cena got in very little offense, no AAs, no 4 moves of doom, anything like that. And Strowman eventually just took the stairs, threw him into the ring, and slammed Cena on the stairs. At no point in time was he in trouble. At no point in time did Strowman feel he needed to get disqualified. This was just Strowman not caring, on the warpath. Cena did get to win because it was a DQ, but it was definitely set up in a way to where Braun did not care if he won or lost. He was just out to destroy Cena. All right, moving on. Miz TV segment. Miz and Maryse announced that they are going to have a child. So if it is for real, congrats to them on their first kid. But this promo ended up turning into I don't know what, because Enzo Amore comes out and interrupts the great celebration that Miz and Maryse are having. Now, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, the Cena-Roman promo that they had done where they basically, you know, tore down that proverbial fourth wall and was basically airing out how people were being booked and things like that. I don't know how big of a can of worms that really was, because yet again, Cena eviscerated Roman over the drug test earlier, and now it seems that it is going to be Enzo Amore receiving a very public humiliation in front of everybody. Now, if you don't know, ever since Cass and Enzo split up, Enzo has garnered a lot of backstage hate, so much so that at one point Roman Reigns actually kicked his ass off the bus while they were touring. He's been demoted to 205 Live, even though he's still on Raw every week because of the cross-pollination and things like that. And Miz called out Enzo for being thrown off the bus. Miz called out Enzo for being demoted on 205 Live. And Miz even went one step further and said that Enzo was where the Miz used to be a few years ago, when Miz ticked off the entire locker room to the point to where the Undertaker would not let him dress in a dressing room. He was dressing in the public bathrooms of events and arenas and things like that. It was a crazy, mind-blowing type of promo. It worked. It was fantastic. I don't know if they're going to continue moving forward with this type of, you know, fourth wall breaking down type promos and airing out dirty laundry and things like that. But overall, pretty surprising promo. All right, following a promo like that, you are assured to have a match, and that's what we get. We get the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, going up against Enzo Amore in what was a decent match. There was a couple of times during the match where they actually stopped, picked up the mics, and verbally berated each other. It wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but in the end, the Miztourage end up getting involved, and Enzo defeats The Miz by disqualification. All right, main event time, and it is a 8-man tag match. I'll get to the booking in the summary, but it was sort of an odd way to end the show. But if you're going to have Sheamus and Cesaro, and you're going to have Gallows and Anderson on one team going up against the Mini Shield and the Hardy Boys, all tag teams can wrestle fantastically, put on a decent match. Again, all these teams, they had brawled earlier in the show, so there was at least a reason for this 8-man tag. It's just where it fell in the show seemed a little bit weird, but Machine Gun Anderson ends up taking the taking the pin because, of course, that's what Gallows and Anderson are basically there to do now. Overall, not a bad match, just a weird way to end Raw. I'm thinking maybe they tried to send everyone home happy with Rollins getting the pinfall. I guess, but like I said, I'll get to it in the summary portion. All right, so that sums up the best Raw I have seen in months. It's right up there with the craziness that is the Raw after WrestleMania, especially this year. Undertaker seemingly retired, and Roman Reigns comes out and says, "This is my yard now," mic drop. One of the better Raw moments of the year. This whole show was carried solely on the promos. The in-ring action wasn't that great, but the Braun and Brock promo was fabulous. I am frothing at the mouth at this pay-per-view match coming up in a few weeks. The Braun and Cena match is definitely going to get match of the night for Raw. It was just Braun coming out and destroying Cena, which was the right call. I do have a little bit of issue with the booking. I think the Cena Braun match should have closed out Raw, as Cena getting destroyed and making Strowman look strong going into the pay-per-view would have been a better choice in my mind. Or Strowman coming out and destroying Brock during his promo to close out Raw and leaving Strowman looking strong. But the tag match itself, it wasn't bad. Just booking-wise, it seemed a little odd. And again, the promos, this is one of my favorite Raws I have seen in a long, long time. It was wonderful. So obviously, I loved this edition of Raw, and it is going to receive a solid 5 Mr. Fuji Cane strikes out of 5.